What's up, everybody? Welcome to Thursday Night Live. If this thing sucks, if the stream sucks, the content won't. But Sean and I are gonna advertise something here right now. We are sponsored by StreamYard to make sure you do not use it. Do not use StreamYard. They actually paid us for that. They're paying us to make sure you don't waste your time or money on the stupid streaming software that does not work for a shit. That said, what's up, Sean?
Not much. I'm still waiting for my check though from StreamYard. So what the hell? How about you?
Dude, I mean, it's just a joke now. I cannot get over this StreamYard shit. It is.
Yeah, but dude, OBS is no better. I mean, last week, and I think some of it's also YouTube. I get that 40-minute mark and I freeze every freaking week. Pisses me off.
Yeah.
But here we are. Let's do this anyway.
Yeah. And by the way, before we even get started here, you guys know I've used the term scumbaggery forever. Sue, who was in the chat, Sue got me a shirt. You guys check that
out. Gotta love it.
I mean, I gotta be a little careful where I wear it. I can't wear it to catering or maybe doing some curry. It's okay. I don't know. Some people might laugh at doing curry, but
depending on the customer.
We definitely have some things we're gonna go through tonight, you guys. We talked on Monday about the 2 a.m. voting, and I just want to real quickly sum this up in another thing that we touched on Monday, and then we're gonna get into these other topics. But so the U.S. House of Representatives did a 2 a.m. vote, and Sean and I were talking off camera that, I mean, I don't even need to know what thank you, Sue. This is awesome. Everybody needs one of these. But I don't even know why the hell this is allowed. I don't even know why it's allowed. Why do they have the keys? Why do they have the keys to the building? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is how far down the rabbit hole goes to me. Like, dude, what the hell? How can you plan a 2 a.m. vote when the only reason you're doing it is because you don't have the votes to pass it the correct way?
Well, I mean, I think that's pretty evident about why you do it, because you don't have the votes.
But that becomes part of the question. I know that we've seen it for a long time. Why don't they just say, hey, this isn't business hour? Like, just make it business hours then. We get pissed enough when these people don't get anything done, and then they travel home while the country's broke and and everybody's screwed, and the government shutdown's happening, but they're getting their checks, and they're jumping the lines and skipping the long lines at the airport. And I understand that too, because they would get their ass beat if they didn't.
Well, and
so, again, dude, nobody'd stand in line with them and be like, really, you're flying home, huh? The government's shut down, asshole. Like,
right.
Why don't you do your job first and then fly home?
Oh, and they should be locked in there until 2:00 in the morning doing their damn job if they can't make those decisions.
Right, but they shouldn't be able to go home at 11 a.m. and come back at 2 a.m. because they don't have the votes. And let's do this.
Agreed. Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, like, dude, like, literally the security should be like, guys, yeah, you can go to your offices. Sure. Yes, you're a senator. I know you. You can go to your office, but you can't go into the room and vote on things.
Well, at least I mean, there'd be certain matters, obviously, you'd want them to be able to, if like impending war or something. But, this bullshit like this should be handled, as you said, during, quote, normal business hours.
Well, but what you just referred to also is something that is a time sensitive type thing. Like, this is war related. It needs to be figured out by morning. Everybody needs to get in here. We don't have the votes. So all of us that are in on this, let's do this.
Right.
Because here's what they did. So the holiday weekend, the House of Representatives Transportation and Infrastructure Committee voted at 2 a.m. That was the time of their meeting for the vote. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, isn't there something that goes out to everybody regardless when you do this crap? That's like, even the people that won't be attending who are against you are like, wait a minute, why are you doing this? Or we know why, but what the hell is this? I mean, it's just always weird to me. But so they pulled together for this you know, I'm so sick of California, and I'm sorry, California people. I'm just so sick of your goddamn politics. I can't handle it anymore. Like, even when I think like we've given you guys a couple compliments lately, I don't know why, because you always screw it up. And again, I have a lot of friends in California. I'm not dogging on my friends, but I am definitely saying to my friends, get your head out of your ass and vote for some good people. This is ridiculous, dude. Like
Yep.
like we were getting on, like, okay, they're getting on Uber's ass. They're going to make them do some things. No, they're not, because now they did this 2 a.m. thing. And the whole point was that Uber doesn't want to be held liable because or they don't want that threshold of like getting lawyers and stuff. They're still playing with those numbers. This has been voted on and passed that this would be a thing last year. People were excited about it. So now Uber is locked in a battle in California over its responsibilities for drivers who cause accidents and sexual assaults after shoddy background checks with 2 ballot initiatives. So the amendment was sponsored by the California U.S. Representative Vince Fogg. And California, who's this? Oh, this is the consumer watchdog. This is their quote. California cases show how Uber's failed background system has resulted in deaths, injuries, and sexual assaults, and how Uber needs to be accountable for its drivers if we are to be safe riding in Ubers. He goes on to say Representative Fong should be ashamed of himself for putting Uber riders in his district in jeopardy because a limited liability system will allow Uber to continue to do inadequate background checks so it can have more drivers on the road, and that leaves all of us at greater risk.
Fine, but what the hell are they doing to protect the drivers?
Well, I guess that's my point. Why? So first of all, why is the 2 a.m. vote happening? Number 2, why is it overturning what they passed last year?
Well, there you go. I think that's.
I mean, it's just.
I hope that's a rhetorical question.
I mean, dude, honestly, like I'm at the point now where if California passes something good, I'm just gonna turn my head to it and go, it doesn't matter, dude. They're gonna backstab it.
They'll reverse it anyway.
Doesn't,
right.
Anybody who's like, look at this great thing they're gonna do, though. When I hear the word going to from now on in California and going to, I'm just gonna relate it to they're gonna screw you. Period. I don't care.
Right.
Like, you think you're screwed now, you're gonna get double screwed. And if you vote for it or against it, it doesn't matter. You're just going to get screwed. Whatever you want isn't going to happen, and you're going to get screwed.
So you pay now or you pay later, but you're going to pay.
Yeah. So here's one of them. So, and this is the one I talked about, and this is really the only one we need to go through for people to get an idea. I know that Consumer Watchdog goes after some of the bigger stories and topics, but let's look at this. So in one case, for example, documented in Consumer Watchdog's report, a license to kill, an Uber driver with 2 DUIs went on a drunken rampage and killed 2 innocent people. The Uber driver was allegedly speeding as fast as 120 miles an hour in a 40 mile per hour zone and registered a blood alcohol level of over twice the legal limit, killing 2 people. This was in Santa Barbara. And used nitrous containers were found inside the driver's car, according to the civil suit. At the same time, the driver was on probation for his second DUI, but Uber still hired the driver despite conducting a background check that they provided in the court. They said, here's his background check.
Holy crap. I mean, talk about.
Dude, what more needs to happen? Just look at somebody needs to go take a nail gun and end everybody at Checker right now. Just you're done. You're done.
Well, they need a clean slate, start off with a whole new less of it's like you got a big pile of crap. You can polish it all you want, but it's still a pile of crap. And that's the problem with Checker, because it is such a dysfunctional, broken database with so many holes and problems with it. But then you have situations like this where the information was handed on a silver frickin' platter and they still didn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, you get a driver that gets into one little accident that he was involved in, and then he gets deactivated, and now thanks to Colorado's new wonderful law, he's going to be deactivated off every frickin' platform over a clerical error, we'll call it. So we get these clerical errors and people are getting deactivated. We get holes. This thing is freaking broke, Steve. They need to start off with something new.
It's beyond, but this isn't a perfect. I mean, like, I'm so glad to the consumer watchdog type things. And this is a really good one, by the way, guys. So, like, honestly, and I think I said on Monday, and I did put it in there, but I'll do it for Thursday too. If you guys aren't on the Discord, get on the Discord, because I made it a separate channel that just says show notes or something like that. And and I'll put the episode link so you'll see the video from YouTube or the audio podcast. And then under there, it will have the links to the stories we talk about. That Sean made a great point on Monday when I was live of dig deeper than these, you guys. Yeah, exactly. But they're a starting point. Read what we put in there and then go look farther. There's a lot you can find. I mean, like, we go pretty far down these rabbit holes, but go read these, because right there, that story alone is just pathetic. Like, Uber's like, hey, listen, they're showing it. Here's our checker certification on the guy. He's fine. He's not fine. He has 2 DUIs. And what the hell are you talking about? And here's what they do. And we all know this. They're great at it. Talk to Checker. That's why we pay them. Talk to Checker. I guarantee you. First of all, fuck scumbaggery. I guarantee you. I am this, because they're the cheapest. I guarantee you that Uber has a deal with them. Some kind of wicked, screwed up deal where and by that, I don't mean like let all the scumbags in, but it's happening because of the deal. I think they have a deal that's just kind of like, let's just make sure that there's plausible deniability on both sides all the time, so that no matter who they ask, they can never get to who can answer it.
Well, because even Checker is outsourcing a large portion of the investigation process. They use other databases from other parties, and then if they have to go to a county, they'll sub it out to other people. I mean, it's like sub to sub to sub to sub, like you said, to be able to just deflect the blame and just keep pushing it down the line, and then go, oh well, hell, plausible deniability. I didn't know. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying. Somehow, exactly, plausible deniability. But you and I both know, if we were 2 businesses back in the day, at some point, if they really wanted to dig in, they could make both of us liable, or shut up, you guys, give me an answer that works. But I think it's plausible deniability on both sides. And then when it gets real muddy, they just go algorithm, and that's the end of it. They're just like, don't know.
Oh, we had a glitch. Oh, well, our database, and I talked about this on podcast way back when I started doing this, Steve, like my 3rd one, about the holes in that they only cover, what was it, 30% of the United States, or some ridiculous number like that. I mean, well, okay, what about the rest of the freaking country?
They probably,
and that's
I remember you doing that.
Search.
And here's my thought: they probably just don't. I'm now to this point. They probably just, like in North Dakota, they probably just don't even run checks. Yeah, fuck it.
Well, right. Yeah.
We have more moose than people here. We don't care. Fuck it. Like, I mean, I know that people are going, dude, shut up. That's not the reality of it. It probably isn't, but it might not be that far off.
Are they undocumented Canadian moose? How do we get to moose in North Dakota?
I don't know. Well, they have them in Wyoming.
Well, we have them here too, but North Dakota?
I don't know. I'm trying to pick a state. Like when you said there's certain states, yeah, they pick the states with all the people. But what about the states without people? They're just like, you don't have enough people to qualify for background checks. So you know what?
Well, and a lot of the people that have committed crimes in North Dakota, I mean, let's face it. Look. I love our oil workers, but a lot of them, they're transient employees because they're living up there working in the oil fields. There's a lot of drug issues in the oil field work, let's face it, and there's a lot of drug trafficking. So they get arrested in North Dakota, just using your example, and there'll never be a record of it because they don't show that they had any domicile there. So it won't even show up on a background check. So
again, we'll end this part with this. Prove us wrong, North Dakota.
Right. I actually know
Somebody
a
from
sheriff
North
in North
Dakota weigh in
Dakota.
on this shit, man. If you're listening to
I
the
could
audio
actually
podcast or you come back and tell us. Like, I want to know.
I could get a sheriff from North Dakota, and the sheriff, not a deputy, but the sheriff for a county in North Dakota. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll talk to him, see if we can get Zach on.
So Toyo says that needs new system for bots and auto grabbers. He's talking about Spark because of the honesty. I mean, look, dude, I was talking about this Monday. That it doesn't. Who cares? You know what? I hate to say this, Toyo, but who cares about the bots anymore? The bigger problem is, and again, we know that a ton of channels, it's not even close, a ton lie to you all the time. Some of them might not know as much as others. Some of them straight up know how bad they're lying to you. But the bottom line is the illegal accounts are completely out of hand. Completely. Like, it's not even estimated. It's definitely near a 50-50, and a lot of people think it's well over. Even Sergio thinks it's well over. And now Sergio's in California. He's probably right. But in every state, it's close to that 50-50 line. So anybody in any state saying, I've never seen an illegal worker, then you clearly just aren't aware of what's going on at all.
TransUnion report that I read from when they did the survey, they said 46% of the people they surveyed either sold or rented their accounts. So that 50% mark is conservative, because then that doesn't even include the apps of the cartels and all that other crap that you've been investigating and going on. So it's probably pushing 75% of the people, which would be interesting for some of our future discussion that we have tonight, and we'll hold on to that one. But I think that all ties into it.
Yeah, C. Toyle says, "Thank you, Steve. It is crazy in my market. I didn't do anything for you, man. I'm telling you that I don't know what to do about the bots. Here's my thing. We used to be onto the bots. I used to talk to lawmakers about that. I'll be honest with you, because of how much I care about transparency and other things. I'm focusing on the transparency, and the lawmakers I'm talking to, the reason that it's blown up, and when you get you take it and you start working with them on whatever the hell they wanted you to work on them with. Luckily, it's something I care about and know about enough, which is illegal accounts. But that's what they really sucked me in with. Like, I've been approaching so many for so long. Finally, a group of people exposed me through some doors to people that I've wanted to be in touch with. And they're like, we want on this illegal account thing. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, let's nail this. Let's get it down. I'll answer anything. I'll help you out wherever I can. But when we're done, we're talking transparency. And that'll roll us right into this next thing, because you guys, we are really close. And in fact, I don't even have the number, but I'll put the link into, this could crash StreamYard, you guys. Opening up my notepad could crash StreamYard.
Oh, geez, don't do that.
I know it's gonna crash, right? It's gonna freeze me, at least. Watch. It's still not even launched. Notepad can't. There it is.
Oh. It can't open. Hey, thanks for the compliment, Toyo. We appreciate you.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. And totally. And trust me, Toyo, we still, like, if you really want to know, we still do. I still will address it. It's just it's hit a back burner with the bots, because even like what Luis did, my friend Luis, Delivery TV, largest Spanish channel on YouTube for gig workers. He did a lot of investigative stuff and really put his neck out there, and he learned a lot about the Spark stuff. That's what he went after. And if you guys don't know, yes, he's the largest speaking Spanish channel, but he's also Venezuelan. He's been here legally for a long time. He has a family. They live in Houston. He was threatened by the cartel. And this isn't a joke. He has some videos up on his channel that you can check out. He took a bunch down, but I have like 40 hours of raw footage of his, where he was just like, if you ever want to go through it, and it's him outside of Walmart. And he actually got into the point where he was watching the people, and this is a couple of years ago, but he was watching the people who were controlling the bot, like the people who were like, there'd be like a guy from a cartel there making sure that the bot operation was running right. But then he had some instances where another cartel would come in there, and the two cartel people would like butt heads outside of the location. Like, this is my territory. No, this is mine. I really, because I thought it was a Walmart, you idiots. You know, like, what the hell are cartel members doing, arguing about who controls the bots outside of the damn place? Yes. And by the way, guys, it's not just, you know, conspiracy theory. Yes, they used jammers. We know this. They used jammers. And we also know this. The reason, if you guys don't know about something, I don't know if it's still true. I asked 2 people that I know who used to do a lot of Spark, but I'd be interested. Maybe you could do it, Toyo. You would have to find, what's the person that brings out your stuff? I don't know if they have a title or what it is, but like when you're waiting in a spot and they bring you something, they used to call them something, or Luis did anyway. But anyway, those people are in control of the batches. So they can literally unassign something from you. But that's not only the only thing. Like, it should be, yes, okay, if they need to unassign, they need that emergency service. Cool. But dispenser. Okay. Picker. I think picker was what it was. Thank you, Dustin. But yeah, so anyway, they can unassign somebody, but that's all they should be able to do, is unassign and then let the system reassign. But now they can unassign and assign it to who, or they were at the time, and assign it to whoever they want. They had the ability to assign after unassigning. So the cartel's obvious. I mean, that's why they were there watching them. Like, when cartels are at a location, they're making sure their operation is flowing smoothly.
Correct. That's exactly.
Otherwise they wouldn't be there. Fact.
Right.
So they have an operation, they're running it, and they're making sure that their pickers or whatever they are, they're making loaders. There it is. They're making sure that their loaders are functioning right. Hey, you canceled that guy and you reassigned it to our guy, right? Cool. But I would love for one of you guys,
crap in my car,
like Lisa, Toyo, whoever does a lot of Spark. I'd love it if you talk to one of these loaders, and if you felt like, you know, cool enough that they weren't involved, to say, hey, do you have any, like, what is the ability you have? Like, do you, if you have to unassign from somebody for any given reason, do you have to reassign? Do you reassign it, or does it get thrown? You'd have to be very careful, because, and I don't mean that you'd get in trouble, but you might get a very fake answer. But if you asked it correctly, you know.
So there's actually one that I give a ride to about once a month that works at a Walmart. That's what she does. I'll ask her about it whenever.
I mean, Lisa's saying right here, you know, it is a loader, and yes, Walmart, they have the unassigned. They have unassigned my order a couple of times. Yeah. So they definitely have the unassigned capability. And actually I agree that they have the unassigned. They should be accountable for what they're doing. But I agree they might be a function they need on the fly. You know, they look into somebody's car and they're like, you don't have enough room, or somebody's just, they can see drug needles on the seat, whatever the reason might be. They need the ability to unassign.
They got
maybe somebody's drunk
in the car.
What if a guy's drunk?
Right.
I mean, they need to be able to go, dude, you're not taking this. Sorry. They need that ability. But what they shouldn't have is the ability to go, I'm taking it from you and giving it to him.
Yeah.
That's where the mess comes in. But then there's also, like Toyo said, then there's also the bots. You pay, and if you guys, we'll get into bots next week, because we have a big topic that I think is going to take up we have other stories, but I think that the one main topic is going to take up pretty much the rest of the time, unless I'm wrong, but we'll see. But we'll get into the bots and how they work, because they're more expensive than buying illegal accounts. The way these bots work is really weird. I don't even understand how the people who use them make any money at all. Because literally what you have to pay for each key, so you have to pay to get in with them, then you pay for the keys. And the keys get you a certain amount of what you'll earn. So like, let's say a key gets you, you know, we'll give you the best orders and you pick from them. But once you've made $1,200, you have to buy a new key. Well, the keys are $250 to $450. So they're taking up to 33% of your money that you're already getting ripped off on. to just give you the more select offers. And I would actually go to say that it's not like back in the day, because even the best offers aren't that great. So I mean, like, you're now, it's like they're hand picking, the bots are hand picking the, you know, the best ones, but the best ones aren't even that great.
Right. But so we've got the bot accounts, we got the people who are selling and renting their accounts that are drivers, and we have the cartel activities and everything. So how many real drivers in a market do we really have? And that kind of segues into what we're going to talk about with Massachusetts, Steve. You know, and I don't know if you're ready to jump into that yet.
Well, let's actually, I just remembered I had said this, and I think I put it into the chat, didn't I? Did I? Or did I not paste it? Okay, I thought I did.
Oh, the link for the
Oh, I already did?
No, I don't think you posted it yet. I know you were talking about it, but you couldn't get
got it right
Notepad
here.
open. You were worried it was going to lock up StreamYard. So,
boom. Like, okay, guys, that right there, we need your help. I honestly think that last I looked, maybe it was yesterday or something, it was like 418. We are so close. Because again, I was telling Sean, 10 is a marker with change.org. 25 is, 50 is, 100 is, 250 is, and 500 is. And I was even telling Sean, yes, the lawmakers I work with are like, dude, 418 is good enough. That's great. It is, but dude, 500 is a new marker, and it actually opens you up to more exposure. So 500 might bring us to 600 or 700. It's like hitting a new tier that might expose us to more people. And so please, 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 the link's in there. Put your name on it. If you haven't already, I'm going to just go through it real quick, and then we're going to move into the topic Sean's talking about. But I just want to tell you guys, because this is a, you know, this is a big deal, man. Like, this is all you're doing is adding your name and your email. That's it. You know, they really,
so there's a little bit of time.
And right. I mean, and Sue says we're at 424. It was 418 yesterday. So again, guys, we're like 75 away, 76 away. We should be able to do that in the next week or two. I know that we've been having this going for a while, but if we really push, and right now there's a lot going on with this November stuff, but here's what it is. So here's what I wrote out. The issue: we are submitting bills to Congress in each state since November 2026. All markets will be adopting some legislation defining delivery network company, DNC, and how they will operate. We have Transparency and Protection Act. We are submitting state by state. Fixing full transparency, wrongful deactivations, and removing driver metrics would significantly improve working conditions and livelihoods of DoorDash and all app delivery network drivers. Here's a breakdown of what it would do. A, full transparency, what it means. Drivers can see full information about every request, total payout, including tip, distance, drop-off location, and expected time. How it helps the driver. Better decision-making. Drivers can choose deliveries based on true profitability instead of gambling on hidden tips or vague details. 2, increased earnings with clearer data. Drivers avoid low-paying or high-effort offers and focus on high-value ones. 3, fewer cancellations. Knowing full details up front reduces the need to unassign orders later. And 4, less stress and frustration. Drivers aren't misled or tricked into taking bad orders. B, fixing wrongful deactivations, what it means. So drivers are not deactivated unfairly for false customer claims, app glitches, or algorithm errors. Let's have a fair appeals process. We have it here. It's still in its infancy. It has its hiccups, but it's there. But again, job security. Drivers won't suddenly lose their income without cause or recourse. Mainly the recourse thing is what I focus on there. Fairness protects against customer abuse, like false non-delivery reports and things like that. Confidence in the platform. Drivers are more loyal and motivated when they know the system has their back. Reduced fear. Drivers won't live in fear of losing access after one mistake or, in the bigger one, misunderstanding. And then the last one, C, removal of driver metrics. And this is where it gets really important, especially with the midterms coming up. I know that a lot of people don't want to hear this. or they don't want to believe it because they're busy lying to you on YouTube. But the driver metrics need to go unless they want to battle the state labor law. And that's what we've come down to. And none of these companies, they'll put up a smoke and mirror show like you've never seen. But guess what? None of them are going to roll the dice on going to court against the labor code. None of them. Because that will be the end right there. So remove stats on drivers if they are defined as independent contractors by the app platform terms of service. Allow drivers to use any and all third-party apps that help them get their contracted work done if they are defined as independent contractors by the app platform's terms of service. Remove driver tiers that grant better offers to certain drivers if they are defined as independent contractors by the app platform terms of service. Guess what, guys? Like it or not, that needs to happen. It needs to happen. Might there still, like I saw Dustin in here, perfect example. Dustin has a market where he has even done some math on his videos. That's Major Deliveries, guys. Check out his channel. But if he's done some like math where he shows you like over the years, here's been my average hourly pay. And it's like every year, it's like right there, no matter how many hours, what. And, you know, he's in Washington State. I'm not going to give his location out. That's not my business, but it's not Seattle. I'll say that. But so he's got his market down. He knows he makes X amount. It doesn't matter if he averages out the year, it still comes out that way every year. His average is right there. It doesn't matter. So clearly the algorithm could take to and like something, but, and you might say, well, that's not being totally fair. Well, that's just something we're going to have to be somewhat adaptive to, but it still needs the ability. Everybody needs the ability to be able to get out there and hustle. And in all reality, since we are going to have to deal with these algorithms regardless, I would rather have an algorithm that's actually doing something helpful rather than just screwing everything up for everybody. Right. So if it's going, hey, man, this guy busts his ass. Okay. This guy doesn't do shit. Okay. I'm not saying what I think should happen. I'm just putting a couple things out there and your minds are going to work.
So get out there and sign this, guys, if you haven't. So Rick asked a question about how do you know if you've already signed it? Steve, I assume if you go in there and try and redo it, it won't
let you do it twice. I think it even kicks it. I think it kicks it back and says you've already signed this. And it might even take you to a donation page. By the way, guys, in the infancy, it helped a little, but you don't need to donate a damn thing. It's free. But they do have a thing that says if you donate, you can donate. You can donate. You don't need to. Don't worry about that. Everybody's struggling enough as it is. You don't need to donate. Just get your name on the thing. First name, last name, and your email. That's it. It's free. It takes 1 minute. And there's no hidden agenda. I just read you the whole damn thing. So
pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically, here's what it is. I just last week was doing some independent contractor work. And I'll say this, it allows you to, we're independent contractors by their own terms of service. It allows you the right to be what they say you are. Here's the problem. If they want to I know states talking about this. If they want to screw around right now, they can be changed to a W-2 very easy. Some states are like, hey man, we might just put that in front of them. You know what? You're going to just be a W-2 unless you can just show us everything. And if we don't get to portable benefits tonight, we will hit on that next week for sure, because there's a lot of portable benefits stuff, because I don't think we're going to have time tonight. But there's a lot of portable benefit stuff we do need to talk to and how it attaches to different states, because some people are confused by the federal legislation that Tim Scott out of South Carolina, Rand Paul out of Kentucky, and Bill Cassidy out of Louisiana put together on the federal level. But we'll tie it together next week and tell you why it's deadly important. But what we need to get into this week is Sean's going to lead us on this one, is this union stuff, because it's not just in California anymore. You know?
Nope, it's in Massachusetts. It hit the other coast already. And, they've been fighting for this for a couple years now. And they finally got enough signatures in 2024 to get it on the voter ballot to say, do we want gig drivers and to be able to unionize? And how the hell they got so many people, Steve, to vote on this thing and then to say, yes, we want drivers to be able to unionize, but they did. It passed. And so I'm going to say stupid governor just because of the mistakes. I know very little about her. I'm not, so it's a little
Who, Maura
biased. Well,
Haley?
it's very biased. It's based on this one
I will,
thing.
if you
Maura
guys need
Haley.
me to, I'm more than happy to just
Well,
destroy Maura Healey on a personal note too, because Mike Karubi taught me well. I am Jedi trained on Maura Healey and her
and
bullshit.
this is why I wanted to save the majority of the content. I talked about it on mine on Tuesday, and just kind of started touching on to it and bringing the interest of people with it. And because of your experience with that and the people that you've worked with, and then also Uniontown, so you have a different perspective than a lot of people. You probably grew up with some family members, maybe very close family members that were involved in the union.
Yeah.
I worked for a company that we had to deal with union representation in certain towns and cities, so I bring a little bit of that, but nothing to the table like I believe that you can to this conversation, and say where the unions, where they were effective, where they are effective, and where they're not effective anymore. So I really want to dive into this. But this damn governor, she says this is a historic day for the country. Not just
by the way,
not just
before he even goes
Massachusetts.
any farther, all I will say then, since I don't get my chance to really tell you guys about this woman, I use that term loosely. She is as scumbaggery as they come. She is a shyster. She was the mayor of Boston first, and then she was moved, and then she got voted in to governor. She does everything wrong, literally. People bring her things and say, this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing. She's like, wrong. Let's do the wrong. Let's fuck everybody over. And she now has a new mayor who's her little like bitch on the side for Boston. That the two of them together they make a train wreck look like a fucking garden.
Well, I mean, you took Boston, who, had the highest rideshare pay in the country, hands down, and they've destroyed that. And now they've because of their minimum wage laws that they passed and all that, and now they've taken it a step further. And again, I'm gonna go read this wonderful little quote from this bottle of arrogance that we have here. It says, "This historic day for the state, for the country." Wow. Okay.
I love it when Maura. By the way, guys,
Presidente.
Those of you that know how involved I am with Mike Karubi. I helped him with the Be My Own Boss podcast, getting them started. He lives in Massachusetts. He wants nothing more than he writes federal legislation. He knows about all this. And we were going down this avenue 2 years ago when they were doing all rideshare drivers will make $32.50 an hour. Even he at first glance was like, they're going to guarantee them that? I'm like, no, it's based on their bullshit active time. It's not real. And the problem is a lot of people voted thinking, oh, that's good pay. Yeah, it's not pay though. And everybody ended up earning less.
She goes on to further say, and please tell me any unions you're aware of today that this is true about, Steve. She says that noting that drivers being able to unionize means better pay, better wages for them.
Nope.
Wait, aren't those kind of the same? But anyway, same thing. But
I'll keep answering for her.
And then better for their families.
Nope.
Well, what bullshit? Are there any unions that do that anymore, Steve?
No, and in fact, Sean and I were talking before the show, guys. Like, I mean, I hate to say this, but when the crime families really had their hand in the unions, that's when it worked. And Sean, you were alluding to some of my family. Yes, a lot of my family in Detroit. Yes, they worked in the auto plants in the 40s or in the 50s and all that. yes, the
Right.
unions mattered. And I was telling Sean, like, if you got hurt on the line working for Ford or something, you, your family, your kids, your house, everything was kept in place and you were taken care of.
Right.
As you should be. That's why you have a union. These days, even I told Sean, I think the model is broken. I don't think any job out there, and for a while I've been trying to think, well, there's still some. I don't think there's any job out there left, even police and fire, who should benefit from this. Absolutely. I don't think there's any union out there that does anything for anybody.
All they do is
We're
get
just, I
pissed
mean,
off.
like
The
I
union
saw somebody
bosses.
drop a comment about it, like the days of unions are gone. Yes, that's what I was saying to Sean. Those
Yeah.
days are gone, dude. Like unions are done. They don't mix with the digital world.
Right. So, I mean, then they talk about, well, now they can do their collective bargaining and overpay. Well, okay, they could get to, if everybody was serious, they could go have one of their little protest days and, you know, and start saying we want better pay. The union, all they're going to do is collect their union dues, count their cash, keep smiling big, and then when things don't go right, they go, "Y'all strike, go starve your families, go starve yourselves. Hey, don't forget to pay your union dues though while we're doing that." That's the way it works anymore. They don't sit there and say, "We're going to suffer with you. We're going to make sure," or "We're going to make them suffer instead of making you, the employees, suffer." And that's the way it used to work. It'd be like, "All right, you want to screw with my employees," and this is like when we had the mob handling this stuff. It'd be like, you're messing with my family because they're paying that protection money. That's what
Yeah.
it was. You can call it whatever you
I'd
want.
rather
But
go
that's what
back
it
to the
was.
mob, though, to be honest.
Well, at least they were organized. You know, that they call them
Yeah,
organized
no, no.
crime for a reason. People can say what they want about them.
You can even add the next word, because I would prefer organized crime run it over government crime.
Right. Because at
Fact.
least they're organized and they know how to make a profitable business.
Plus,
Unlike
we're
our
not a
damn government.
socialist society, dude. I mean, like the way the unions
Right.
are now, it's look, our government's
Yeah.
way worse than the mafia.
Well,
Our
that's
government
what
makes
they drive on.
Yeah, I mean, the government's like, we got rid of the mafia. I mean, the mafia is still there in its ways, but like mafia, we support you, dude.
Okay, but here's the thing that the mafia never would have got involved with. This show's either gonna go really well or we're gonna get like blocked on this one. Or we're gonna get shut down. But anyway, but the thing is with the mafia that they were smart enough to say, hey, we're not gonna take a bunch of illegal accounts, illegal workers, and illegal other people, and then try and count them in our 70,000 Massachusetts drivers that now have to equate to 17,500 union cards being signed to be able to pull this off. I don't think they're going to have enough freaking real signatures to pull this shit off, Steve, because of all the fake accounts, all the illegal stolen accounts and everything else. I think if they get 10%, it's going to be a victory. And how do I know that? Because Drivers Co-op Colorado, I'm going to drag them in the middle of this for a second. They're trying to put a proposal out to get a change to be able to have a quorum. It's now listed at 20%. They can't even get enough people to vote for a change to drop the quorum to 5%. So they can't even get enough to reduce a quorum. And I think it's because of all the people that shouldn't be driving, and they're just trying to stay low below the radar. So they don't even want to vote on a little election item like that. So if you look at something bigger like this in Massachusetts, there's no way in hell they're going to get those 17,500 legitimate votes or union cards signed to be able to unionize.
I mean, again, let's go over to California for a second with this union, because now, again, not a friendly of this show, and I try and not say her name, but since I have the shirt on, a certain I'll put her name last and then first, so that at least it's out of order. A certain More Nicole, she is psychotic. She is straight up psychotic. That girl is the biggest union shill I've ever seen. I know that a lot of other people believe that she's doing good things. I happen to know from back in the day with Mina Dubal, her intention is just to get her $200,000 a year paycheck plus, and to wear blue jeans to protest and pretend like she's one of you. She's not.
One of
And
them.
that bullshit that, like, okay, whatever they came up with for active drivers of 10%, you have to get 10% of the signatures, and then that union will be granted the power to go out there and basically it's like a bid. All the unions have to go in there and say that, okay, listen, we're a union. Okay, the first one you get to get 10% of these drivers that we've estimated. First of all, there's 1.4 million in California, but they were using like the 900,000 number or something. But let's even use that 900,000. You got to find 90,000 just to be the one who wins the bid to be the scumbag union rep. Like, and then here's the other thing about California. On top of these unions sucking, what are they going to do for you? Because unfortunately, last year, right before they passed this union bullshit, they said that the Supreme Court of California finally locked down Prop 22. It's been challenged 3-4 times since its inception. And they finally, the Supreme Court said enough. They said, you know what? It's law. It sticks. It holds. Well, so now what is Prop 22's main thing? 120% of minimum wage for active time. Your union rep can't even fight for more money for you, because to do that, here's how your union rep would have to get you more money. They would have to raise the California minimum wage for everybody.
Correct.
Not gig workers, for the minimum wage for the state.
Right.
So therefore, they have no power at all. All they'll be doing is sticking their hand in your pocket and going, you guys didn't make enough money to pay the rent. Now you really didn't, because we're taking this.
Yep.
I don't know. It's gotten so absolutely ridiculous. And I didn't see the comment that let me see what this is from Marissa. So too many middlemen between workers and their pay. Yeah. I mean, to me, what's going on in California and Massachusetts, I think Massachusetts had the same crap about 5%. I don't know if that's changed or what's happened, but you have to acquire 5% of the what?
20. You have to get 25% for the 25% of union card signed of that 70,000. So that ain't gonna happen. Well, I don't know.
But again, where's the 70,000 coming from? That's how many rideshare drivers they think they have in Massachusetts.
That's what they estimate.
So that's a problem of mine too, because that's what they did in California. We knew it to be 1.4 and ended up being 900,000. So I have this feeling that like it's 200,000, let's say, in Massachusetts, and they're saying 70. And you got to get 25% of 70. Really, you should have to get 25% of 200. But even then, what happened to the days of you have to have 51%? And that's even in the what do you call it? The because red state, blue state, all that's, if you're like, well, I live in a red state, I'm safe because we have the what is it? The where you can't be forced into a union. What's the word? What term I'm looking for? Some of the states have it, you know, like you basically nobody can force you into a union. Well, in the gig economy, it doesn't matter where you live. If you're like, we have that law, so that we're protected. No, you're not, because they're hybriding this.
Right.
There's a lot of deals going on where it's like you would be if you had a independent contractor job. But I mean, look at some of look at the Chicago problem. And we'll get into it big time next week. But look at the Chicago problem. You know, you gotta, I don't even want to go into, let's see if we hit Chicago today. Well, let's keep going with where you're at with Massachusetts, because I'm curious what they're going to do, because once you do it, are they saying that everybody's in it, or does it have the opt-out? And if it does have the opt-out, are those drivers going to get no rides, or are those drivers going to get all the rides?
So
this is a real dilemma for me, because like, dude, if you have a way that once you have the 25% or whatever percent the state's working with, that just says it allows the unions to get in there. That doesn't mean that Uber won't won't tell the algorithm, don't send anybody in the union a fucking ride.
Right. And I think this is going to be binding. I didn't see in here whether there's a lot of language that says that
There it is.
it's
Right to work
binding to
state.
everybody that's a driver. Right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Derek.
Yeah. So it says the exclusive union can negotiate binding agreements with rideshare companies, and then any negotiated contract must be approved by the Secretary of Labor, and a majority of active drivers who have completed at least 100 trips in the previous quarter will be beneficiaries of this. So that means if you're an active driver, to me, you're in the union, like it or not. I mean, because they're not going to say, well, we're going to represent everybody, and you're going to get the benefit of it. So I don't think they're going to have an option to opt out of it. But that's a great question. I didn't find the answer
But
to.
so here's my question for you then, Sean. Like what happens to, and for God's sake, Maura Healey, pick one and suck it, because you know this to be true. You are one of the major places with illegals. You are upward of 60% plus on all the apps in your damn state. So you know what? How are you going to unionize illegals? I'm really curious as to that. Because you need social securities. You need things that match you. You can't just use a fake account.
Right. Yeah. And how are you going to
I'm guessing but she's
them?
such a scumbag, there will be a way. And the illegals will be the first ones to get it. She'll just kick them through. You don't need one. Only the people that pay taxes need it. Fuck them.
Well, I mean,
really, just know that whether you believe in a God or not, there's an afterlife waiting for you, and it's not pretty.
You'll probably find people that were, part of the founding colonies of Massachusetts that are now all of a sudden rideshare drivers.
I mean, I would hate this. Some people might have just heard what I just said and say, well, wouldn't that fix the illegal problem then? Because yeah, you're right. Maybe we do need a union because it'll fix the guys. It's one of those things we were just talking about. I guarantee you, if you think that and you vote for it, you're going to get even double screwed.
Right.
I don't know how to explain it, man. Because yes, I just made a valid point, but for some reason they have a way of finding these angles on valid points. I don't know how else to explain it. The horrible states have a way of seeping this through. And that's what we're trying to shut the dam on, and get this stuff stopped, because it's just ridiculous, dude.
It looks like that Mount Auburn Cemetery is the oldest cemetery. It has the burial site of many prominent Boston Brahmins. So that's probably where they can get all their union cards signed from. I mean, it was built in 1831. So I think they got some ground to cover. I think the bottom line is, yeah, like you said, they'll get the signatures fraudulently or not. And then who's going to audit them? Because the governor wants this, so they're going to tell them, to stand down and don't, just let things move forward.
Well, dude. I mean, you guys can do your own determination. Luckily, I had Mike Harubi to do a lot of research on this for me, and he already knew a lot of it. I got some real deep dive information from Mike that was very important about the person, Maura Healey. She's in bed with every fucking company, every union. She is as scumbaggery as they come. For real. This might as well say F her name. Because she literally she's against all the people who pay taxes. The founding fathers would be rolling in their graves.
Well, and here's the problem.
I mean,
absolutely. But they probably signed a union card, so it didn't matter.
But it's Massachusetts of all places, too. It's like the state that should be on it has become like one of the most cancerous states in this country. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, the bottom line
Look,
is, guys,
so
they made these
but the problem
promises.
is,
It's active time promises and benefits that you're never going to see.
okay,
And
okay, but here's what this, Steve, is, when you leave shit out on the street, eventually the plague comes, and this is exactly what's happened. So the plague's going to spread, and it is going to spread to places like Chicago,
oh yeah,
where they think that they're going to do better things with, with the unions, that they don't have the proper union representation that they used to have, that we were referring to a lot earlier, and so, and then it's going to go bounce over. Well, Washington, Oregon, they're going to, ooh, we want a piece of that pie. We got to be part of the cool kids club, because this is what all the trendy politicians are doing, and they're going to everything that's being the demise of rideshare it's enough of a struggle with all the autonomous vehicle shit that's happening, and now they're just trying to drive a nail in the freaking coffin, and why? All for greed.
yeah. But as we know, especially the bigger, like a Boston, dude, you can't do that. Like, you can't take rideshare away. Cabs have diminished to 5 to 10% of where they were, and some people have said, well, the cabs could come back. They're never coming back. So the cabs, I mean, like
Right.
in the cities they're in, like a Boston or a New York or a Miami or LA, yes, there's still some cabs present there. And even in Denver here, there's some cabs present, but not like we used to have. There's very, very few. And they don't do very well. Like they're just, it's never gonna, rideshare is not going anywhere. It's just, how is it going to be developed in your state? And honestly, the way it's going, like, drivers aren't going to be, I mean, I don't know why some drivers don't get it yet. Like, they're like, I feel like they're like, next week will be better. After how many weeks of bad? 48 bad weeks, but I have a feeling about next
Right.
week.
Right.
I mean, that's
I mean,
insanity,
I
dude.
remember, back during, during COVID or before that, we used to make $40 for a 4-mile ride. Yeah, you did. And guess what? That screwed up the entire frickin' market. Did it get rid of the taxi service and everything? Yeah. But, and it's not a sustainable model. And then now you have the exact opposite. Everybody's jumping into it. I mean, I saw a thing where they're now saying that food delivery is the largest employment in the country now. And
Yeah.
so now when are they going to start touching on that, going, oh, we can get our greedy little paws in the food delivery world?
Yeah.
Some
I don't know why, but when you
of
said
the
that, I thought of
worst.
Wally. I've been thinking about Wally a lot lately. For the anybody out there that lives in a cave and you haven't seen the Pixar movie Wally, go see it. Because I don't want to call it a spoiler because it's been out for 20 some years, but
Right.
but I mean, it still stands true to today. Like, I just think about those fat people like sitting in the chairs, like not even doing anything to get better, and you literally had the chair take you to the cafeteria room. Like, why
Right.
again, why do we need so many delivery drivers? How much are you people eating, and what are you eating? And god damn, like, what happened to cooking a meal?
Well, okay, but look at right. Look at the guy that the article with that Sergio did, and that got broke because that guy was getting like 8 deliveries a day or whatever the hell it was. Getting a little facetious, but he's constantly getting. He did. He never left. Now part of it homebound because he was. Why aren't you cooking your own damn meals? But dude,
I mean,
there's
I
people.
do
Come
get
on,
the I do get
you
the
did the
argument
food
that the
delivery. I
grocery
did the
store
DoorDash thing.
I get
Yeah.
the argument that the grocery store is so out of hand that, it's just too expensive. But if that's the case, why aren't you picking the food up yourself? I can understand also
Right.
that some people live off a bus, but not many. Most people have a vehicle. They might not
Right.
use it on the daily, but they have it, or they have a friend's vehicle they can use to get to the store. So it's complete laziness is what it is. There are instances, I am sure, so
Right.
don't quote me as, as like, oh, he just thinks everybody's lazy. No. I'm saying that there's some, but everybody everybody could get to the store. Everybody could probably, in big cities, you could walk to a restaurant. Why does everybody need things delivered? Do we want to have Wally? I don't.
Of course
I
they do.
mean, it's you know,
Well,
it's just pathetic. I know that I should go to the store more than I do. I have panic attacks at the store because of the prices. I really do these days. Like I have a hard
no
time going
lie,
there because
man.
I have a list and I'm like, and I start looking and I'm like, Jesus, dude, like I'm getting sticker shock and I'm used to it. So I'm thinking, is it even gone up more? What the hell's going on, dude? And I'm like deciding if I really do I need
Right.
to eat tomorrow? It's Tuesday. If I skip tomorrow, I could eat lunch and dinner on Wednesday. Like I was never been in this position in my life, dude. Like it's just ridiculous, you know. And I make it work, and my son
Right.
and I make it work. But dude, it shouldn't be like this. And we should not have
It
8.5
should,
million
you know.
dashers in the United States. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what the CEO of DoorDash said. 8.5 million. Now I'm wondering, is it 14, 15 million? Because with the illegals, I don't even know if you've
Oh,
counted them in there. You don't want to talk about that. So, but even the 8.5 that
right.
you said yourself, that you said you have 8.5 million at the round table just 7 months ago, you said 8.5 million. Out of 150 million working adults, that makes them the largest employer in the country.
Yeah.
And in most states, they're being challenged as to misclassification of their workers. And DoorDash is the one under the biggest microscope because every lawmaker knows that DoorDash is scum. I know that most of you mainly work DoorDash, but DoorDash is scum, dude. I think most of you that work it know that too. That's what works in your market. I get it. I'm not saying like you're scum for it. You got to do what you got to do. And if that's where you make the most money, then do it. But I'm just saying, like, everybody involved hates
Right.
DoorDash. The restaurants, the customers, the drivers. Like, it's a plague now. Everybody hates them. So why are you using them?
But
No, the
well,
customer.
the
Why is the
drivers
customer
is
using
out of
them?
necessity.
Merchants are leaving. I know that some people, this is like when I would say like Dash Now is going to come and people are, that'll never happen. Well, it is happening. It's already happened and it's all being launched nationwide now. So I keep telling you guys these things and like, I don't know. Like, why do we need
It's all
8.5
because
million
of
dashers? Why do we need 15 million in the ghost
because
number?
people have been conditioned to use them. And we had this wonderful little freaking thing called COVID where people were forced into using them for a while, and then they got conditioned to it, and we are creatures of habit, whether we want to admit it or not. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and we're we want immediate gratification, and we want somebody else to do it for us. So perfect freaking model, and they don't give a shit. They will put everything else aside and spend more, even though it doesn't make sense, just because they've been psychologically conditioned to do that. And then we have people who are desperate to make some money, and so they're the ones delivering it to these people that have been conditioned to do these types of things. I guess it's time for us to get our freaking tinfoil hats out and start talking about the real impacts of this.
Yeah, I mean, Bubba Sue makes a comment here that it used to be a luxury service. No, it still is a luxury service because if you're using
Yes,
that, you're
correct.
overpaying by 200 to 300% of the value of what you're getting. So you're just being a lazy fuck. Sorry, I'm just in a mood.
No,
And then, you know, right below it, here we go. Lazy. Here we go from Meridian. You know, broke, lazy people. That doesn't even make sense to me. If you're broke and lazy, why are you spending 300% on a meal?
Because all you have to do is file a bullshit false report and you get it for free anyway. And the dasher gets dinged for it.
Yeah, but you know what? But that has I will give this, and it's not for the right reasons, but I will give this. The AI has cut out a lot of that on both Uber Eats and DoorDash. Like, honestly, like it's a lot tougher to go, oh, he didn't, what food? I never got it. Like you have to deal with AI and like emails and stuff now. And I always thought there should be a deeper process, but it's now just because it's not for the right reasons. It's not a deeper process to get to the bottom of it. It's a DoorDash and Uber Eats washing their hands of it and saying, fuck it, it's on the independent contractor. I don't care. They're finally saying what we've said. We're just a switch operating company. We put an offer out there, somebody grabs it. That's your driver. You deal with him.
Right.
Because I even saw on the Uber Eats
meanwhile
thing that this never used to happen. Now on Uber Eats, after the delivery comes on the customer end, you have an hour where you can deal with it, but you can't do anything. Now they put you in direct connection for an hour with your driver. It doesn't just go away like it used to. It stays up, and it's like, call him, text him, whatever. You have that ability, but you can't contact DoorDash or Uber Eats.
Well, and that's what I was telling you was happening several months ago for at least the last 6 months with Uber and like lost items for rideshare. And so that makes perfect sense. They're just trying to get that again. They're trying to get out of the middle of all of it that they can. And we're providing a service. They're playing the same game that Empower played, trying to do that with rideshare. And we're just connecting people. We're not really we're not a TNC. Now Uber's doing the same. They're just they're a conduit, and which isn't really, when you're taking that much money, that's not the right way to do business, but they're getting away with it.
So, we do not have time to get into Chicago other than for me to say this. I'll wet your whistle for next week. We won't leave you dead in the water, but Chicago is a lot of the states. Again, we're going to be talking about a lot of legislation. Wisconsin and Chicago and Illinois, we're going to talk about next week. Wisconsin did something very stupid. In fact, they just, bottom line, it was like, it's same as the 2 a.m. thing, but I don't even understand why. They just gave away all the driver rights, and we'll get into it. But in Illinois, specifically Chicago, DoorDash is on their third lawsuit, and they've already settled the first two and said, yes, we did that. They already twice settled that they stole tips. 2017 to 2019, they paid $42 million that had to be dispensed to drivers for that period. 2020 to 2022, again, filed. And before it even first day of court, before even the first day they settled out of court. Yep, we did that. They're now being charged with 2023 to, I don't know what, we're waiting. It could be to 24, 25, or even to current day right now. I don't know. But there's a third suit coming. The first two they pled to. Now, DoorDash just a month, 3-4 weeks ago, finally got all the restaurants together that during COVID were brought into the, were being used. Restaurants were being put on the DoorDash platform, not as partnerships, just DoorDash going, we can deliver that for you. And all they were doing is the same thing you do, calling in the order kind of thing, and then sending one of their drivers to pick it up. So who knows what the hell they were making at that time, because they were probably upcharging the menu still. So again, it's this, and again, they had to settle with these restaurants, all the big restaurants in Chicago that didn't want anything to do with DoorDash and actually had meetings and said, no, fuck you. Like they were like, it was almost like, hey man, do you want a little chunk of this? Because we're going to do it either way. We're putting you on our app. We don't give a shit. And to me, it's just like, it's mind blowing because they had to pay that out, and they already did. They settled it. They said, "Yep, we did." It's not even the old days of trying to be like, well, there's a story. We need to take this to court. It's like, did you do this? They're like, yep, we did. Totally, dude. It's like, well, then you got to pay this. Okay, fine. We don't give a shit. But here's the problem, and we'll get into it deep next week, is that Illinois is facing a union problem that makes all of these other ones look like nothing. It's like old school union. It would be, I would compare it to W-2 union, and meaning W-2 model gig work, which even though if you're thinking most of the state of Illinois is Chicago, it is. But guess what? In Springfield, where they're making the decisions, they're pretty pissed off. And they don't take into account, and they shouldn't, that Chicago's the major part of their state. But again, every time that they get sued in Chicago for, you did this, they're like, yeah, we totally did. So they're over it. They're like, okay, screw this, dude. You know what? We're just going to put you into old school union. You guys can label your workers as W-2, and we will watch every one of you go out of business.
Right.
At least in
And that's
Chicago, at least in
exactly-
Illinois. So that's going to
Yeah.
be very interesting, because when we talk about this next week, I'll bring all the info, and because we need to go through that, because it's even John Lopez, who you guys have seen on this podcast several times. John works for the union. He's a consultant to the unions. He's a consultant to the independent contractor groups. Mike Karubi doesn't believe that any union can ever work again. He's of the opinion they're all broken. No matter what you do, they're screwed. They don't fit into today's world. John happens to think that there's still some hope for a teachers union or for police and fire needed. And John has made some really good points on the police and fire. I absolutely believe they do need to fix that, but I don't know if they will. But the problem is those people do need a union. Absolutely. What's Derek saying? Starting yesterday, if you're picking up or delivering a passenger to DIA, you can't get past the gates if you're unofficial. What gates?
You can't level 5. You can't go up on level 5 now because they have LPRs.
So you can just go to level 6 to pick up and drop them off.
That's the thing, but you better be running incognito, because his next comment was he was talking about hood Uber. There's still ways around it, but what they're trying to do is get rid of the hood Uber stuff going on at DIA. And
I love this comment. I love, guys, if you know Derek's awesome.
Right.
He's saying like hood Uber can't even drop. Hood Uber shouldn't even exist.
Well, they should.
Hood Uber, we already talked about this, guys, but in a nutshell, Hood Uber is going on Facebook, and basically it's virtual hitchhiking.
Right.
Like people will you can play around like, dude, I got $5. I got to be at the airport in an hour. And somebody might be like, you got $5 and some meth?
Right.
Yeah, I do. Okay, well then I'll be there in 2 minutes.
Right.
But I mean, it's just ridiculous, dude. I don't know what you were gonna say. I would think, go hard at the staging lot too. If you're really trying to make a difference, the staging lots where I see all the problems. I mean, I've been there in years, but I used to see all the problems. If I wanted to get a read on the problems, I just went to the staging lot.
Well, they think this is one of their solutions to the cash ride business is to do that. Well, okay, you're going in. No, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure. See, this is what everybody's missing on it, and you think that that's what it's about, but they're not getting paid by all the rideshare companies all their little fees, all their airport fees, and so they're doing that to make sure they're capturing all the airport fees from the companies. Now, how do I know that? Because again, I used to have a very close connection to the drivers co-op, and that was part of, they were worried that they weren't capturing all their money, so they spent all that money to do that. Now, the other thing is, yes, they are trying to cut down on the cash rides, but realistically, they just want their revenue. That's
so wait a minute. So help me out here, because I can think through these kind of things and where the holes would be. So like he's saying here, they have a guy standing there. I know that exactly where he's talking about. I know exactly what the hell Derek's talking about here. And he's lifting the arm up, probably physically even. Like they probably move past the button. He just lifts it, pushes it. You're cool. Okay, so here's my question though. Before he pushes it, what is he asking you for to get through? Like the Uber pulls up. What is that guy saying?
Okay. So now they have LPRs, and you have to be on an active ride to drop somebody off.
But what stops me from taking a screenshot? I'm just saying these employees of the airport are not trained. What stops me from taking a screenshot and go, no, dude, I'm good.
They're connecting to the apps, their database, so they will look at the app, whether it's Drivers Co-op Colorado, Uber, or Lyft. They're connected to their databases, and they look. So when that vehicle pulls up, they will look at that license plate and say, "Is Sean on, with his Hyundai Kona license plate FBL blah blah blah? Is he on an active ride?" And that make sure that they're collecting the revenue for that airport fee. And if I'm not on an active ride, the gate won't go up.
So hold on. So I worked for a taxi. I don't want to say who, but I worked for a limo company here in Denver for years. I mean, only part time. I was doing other things too,
Yep.
but I was a driver for this guy. I did some stuff, whatever. So I had my TNC and all that, and all the things I needed for that. What happens if Sean and I start Sean and Steve's rideshare or our own businesses? And we do it correctly. We do everything we're supposed to. We're not on their network.
Well, we would have to be if we're going to do airport pickups.
I mean, if everybody tomorrow started their
And
own
drop
business, it wouldn't work.
No, it would, because they have to, in order to get your authority,
What if
operating
you
authority out
don't
at the
have an
airport,
app to show them? What if you're not using a database?
and
What
you're
if you
not
have
then you're
customers?
not a TNC for starters, because that's part of the requirement of a TNC is that you have to have an app. Yep.
You have to wait. No, you don't, because there's no apps. I mean, some limo companies do, but there's no apps for limos. They're TNC.
Limo companies are not TNCs. Those are liveries. Those are under different operating authority, and they would not be going through the level 5 drop-off areas. So that's a whole different category, but it's much smaller chunks of revenue that they're going to be collecting versus the hundreds, thousands, whatever that number is per day that the TNCs are getting. So that's what it's all about, making sure they're getting their revenue.
Oh yeah.
And that they're not losing revenue with cash.
Okay,
rides.
but see, this almost makes me want to go out and just kind of investigate tomorrow, because like, what the hell are the illegals doing? Oh, I guess that I'm guessing it would just match up. So whatever. Like, they would have an active ride. It's just illegal. Okay, so that I just kind of figured out what that is.
And that's where, okay, well, that gets into a whole nother thing about the rented vehicle market, and you rent a vehicle and an account. That goes on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the people that are doing airport runs. Otherwise, you don't do airport runs with your illegal account.
So I want to go back real quick, because there was one thing I forgot about Massachusetts. And when we talk about Illinois, we'll finalize that Massachusetts too next week. So we'll kind of bring all this to closure. But I do want to add one thing. Massachusetts did something that's very strange. In their agreement, and I don't have it in front of me, Sean, you might have seen it too, but there's something about the authority to handle accounts is done in this. No other state, not even California, did this. Is the companies need to be doing their shit, which they won't, blah, 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 getting fined. But then there's something about the PUC, the Public Utility Commission, which we operate under the PUC here too. Right. So a lot of states do, but there's something about the PUC being able to deactivate drivers without the company's weigh in.
Well, and they have pledged, the App Drivers Union, which is the selected union for the drivers, they're pledging that they're going to help represent for deactivations too, just like they're doing.
That's my point.
Like CIDU,
and I know why they're doing it.
They're
because
pledging,
Maura Healey,
there's not a requirement.
Because scumbag Maura Healey, who is just she's rank. That's what I'll say. She's rank. Or what's the one word that drives me nuts? She's rank moist.
Moist.
I hate that.
You're
word.
One of the moist people.
Yeah, it's just something, dude. Like, I will tell the nastiest jokes that I learned in the bar, but something about that damn word bothers the hell out of me.
I did not know that. This will be fun now. Episode 21. We're gonna talk to Steve about his version of moist.
I just had to I just had to okay Toyo's comment because it was being held for moderation. Swamp ass moist.
What?
Yeah. So I guess, but here's my thing. The PUC getting involved is very scary because at that point, and this has already happened, at that point, you are definitely, we shouldn't even be debating it because we can debate all day about where the employee or independent contractor line is. They're definitely crossing it all the time when it's to their advantage.
Right.
But the PUC being involved and being able to override the company's decision, definitely, in my opinion, and I think many others, I'll have to throw this to some groups of some high ups that I talk to. I honestly think that they've now gone over the line and you're an employee. If the PUC can deactivate you outside of the app. Because that's the same as like a limo driver who has to have their certifications and this, that, and the other, and they can take it away from you.
Okay. So and I have a real world scenario, but we're back to it's a real world happening. So at Denver International Airport, they have people, and it was mentioned in the comments, I think Dan mentioned it, but that they have people that sit there and look and watch people, and for riders that are being converted to cash rides, and if they catch you doing a cash ride or catching a cash ride, they write your license plate down, and then they report you to all the TNCs. So all three of them here in Colorado, and say they are not eligible to work the Denver airport, period. So
okay, by the way, just because I'm in the
mood
to do it and I'm thinking about it before you go on, I'm going to tell everybody, because Derek's saying, yeah, you can use level 4 or 6. Right. I'm going to give everybody the real cheat, no matter what they do. If you don't know this and you're in Denver, you can go to Terminal West. So you're pulling up and you either have to go east or west.
Yeah.
You can go to Terminal West and immediately take a right that puts you into the Westin parking lot, temporary parking lot for the hotel there. And you can just let a passenger out there. They can take the elevator and be right into the airport. And you can do that all day because nobody checks that. There you go. There's your option. It beats their stupid idiot people who made that stupid idiot law or put this into place. There, we just gave you level 4, 6, and the Westin Airport are the options. There, you just stupidly did something dumbass again that isn't going to do anything.
The aforementioned comments are represented by Rideshare Rodeo Steve and do not represent the opinions of Colorado Ride Guy or the Rideshare's own podcast.
My shirt says what I think of all the lawmakers right now.
Yeah.
Listen, and by that, by that, I work with some really good ones. So those listening to the podcast, absolutely. I don't think anybody watches so therefore they're not having to read this, but you know what? Some of them get it and they're on board with the right thing. I know that a lot of you don't believe that, but there are, guys, there are more than you. I can say this. There are more than any of you think on the right side. Some of them don't know what exactly they need to do. You know what I mean? Like they just don't.
Right.
Once they're told, they'll definitely be on the right side. They've just been told the wrong things by the wrong people. Lobbyists and union shills have already gotten to them.
And
that's who I talk to a lot, because they're like, well, I was talking to this one guy and he said that we could have this Prop 22 thing like rolled out tomorrow and everybody'd be happy. I'm like, oh, have you seen the news about California? Do you think it's doing well?
Right. Yeah. How's that going?
I mean, luckily the summer isn't real hot yet. Let's wait for the air conditioners to be turned off again while Gavin sits in his fleece coat in his office. Can't run your air conditioners. Turn that up, would you? I'm getting a little hot in this coat. But don't worry, and we will have a Tesla charging station at every house in California by next year. He is the dude, honestly. clown, shithead. None of this none of it summarizes Gavin Newsom. He is human waste.
Well,
straight up.
she's
Him
doing great things for the
him and
country.
Maura Healey should have babies and live on Epstein Island.
Now you're just those poor babies. What did the babies do, man? What the hell?
I don't think
dragging
they'd
the
have any.
babies
I
into
think it would
this.
come down to like eventually one of them killing the other one and eating them.
maybe the other one would die from dysentery or something. I don't know.
YouTube, just deal with it, dude. We're talking real. We're just having a little fun with it too. Just deal with it though. Deal with it.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with this one.
You guys, this is the stuff though. We got, I mean, again, we'll summarize it next week because I want to put some of it to closure and start getting to the actual legislation state by state and not joking about it. But this to me is a joke. What Massachusetts is doing, what California has already is trying to do for 2 years now, and the way that they keep passing it and then screwing the drivers, that the few that wanted it. You know, like I see these more Nicole strikes where she puts on her crappy jeans and her t-shirt and gets out of her $300 man suit or whatever she does. And she, you know, she goes out there and strikes with the rest of them. And she gets arrested once in a while, but she gets pushed right out the door because the union bails her out. She's a union shill, but literally, like, you see these and they're like, we're growing. I've never seen more than 15 people at these. You can shut up, dude. If there's 900,000 to 1.4 million gig workers, you are not represented. Because I've seen, okay, maybe 25. Let's be nice. Maybe I've seen 25 people. That is not any, I mean, that's not even representation for North Dakota.
Right.
Full circle.
Oh boy, here we go.
You like me now, Bismarck?
Oh. I got nothing.
Oh, what's Derek saying here? By the way, obey the rules, keep your job. Yeah, but you know what? But no, that's again, Derek, and you know this, man, is that, and see, he knew too. That's absolutely true. You have the Weston option too.
Weston's an option.
It really, dude, it is, guys. You just, I don't think you can do it if you go to the east, though. That's if you go east, I don't think there's an off ramp. You have to go all the way around. But if you go, if you go to the west side, you can right away take this turnoff and you're in this little Weston lot. Here's how I learned about it. I learned about it years ago with a rider who said, dude, please, it's really busy. Can you just pull off and do you know the Weston lot? And I didn't. And he's like, yeah, you just get in this farthest lane right here as you do this and just take that immediate turn. And I was like, dude, this is an option. I'm going to start telling every passenger, like, hey, do you mind getting off at the Weston? Because by the way, it's where the train lets off too. So we have a train here in Denver for those that haven't been to Denver before in a while. We have a train. It's awful. It started off as a thing that people thought they might use, but now it's just people get stabbed on it and only idiots ride it and drug users. So it's become exactly what you'd expect. It's just become a danger and an inconvenience.
It makes the L train a safer option.
Dude, it makes the Detroit People Mover a safer option.
Fair enough.
You know? But anyway, guys, listen, Sean and I have I'm a little still all jacked from coming back from other work and doing this work. And this has been a huge work month for me, trying to get a lot of things done for me and my son and other things. But we will come back and wrap this stuff up for now next week. And then we'll start to, I think we need a segment that you guys don't go, oh, it's the segment where they talk about this. I'll leave and come back in 20 minutes. We'll make it like 10 or 12 minutes and we'll just talk state by state each week. Because again, if you're like, that's not my state, I don't need to hear it. You do listen, because they're gonna You're going to see a lot of, oh, wait, that's kind of the same as Connecticut 787, or that's the, oh shit, what's this? You know, or why wasn't this followed up on? What the hell did Wisconsin do to its drivers? And I'm going to try and track down every piece of information I can on who you guys need to contact, who was involved in this Wisconsin mess, because they absolutely screwed you guys over, both sides of the aisle. And I like that we're able to say that lately. We're not having to say right or left. The places screwing people over are both sides of the aisles. The 2 a.m. meetings, both sides of the aisles, just the scumbags involved. So I'm gonna get that list, their emails, what they represent, and if you live in Wisconsin, let's put that information out to you. And if in case you don't want to do the digging yourself, I'll find it for you. But you guys should be calling and writing every one of them. Everybody should, yeah. But at this point, you need to, because they literally just took away all of your bargaining chips. They didn't even take them away. They were given the bargaining chips. And the other thing that we're going to talk about next week is portable benefits. And you guys need to hear the portable benefits thing, because it actually could be a big perk. It's how will your state adapt to it. But these guys took all their bargaining chips in Wisconsin, just threw them out the window and said, you know what, just do what you want. I know it's a horrible summary. We'll get into it more, but they literally, your lawmakers not only let you down, they sold you down river. Both sides of the aisle. They just were like, screw you, dude. Almost as if we don't care if you come, you leave, you go, whatever you do. We're not going to help you at all, though. That's the summary right there. And you guys need to speak up to your people, because this is the year. This is the midterm year. Get them out. We can't have, look, I know that you individually might go in and vote the right way, and maybe it doesn't make the change needed, but we better see a bump in these states that are just screwing you over in every way. We better see a bump in the number, at least, to voting in the better party that would help you. Because if we don't, man, I don't know what you guys are doing. Like, why? I already question why how anybody can live in California. I don't even understand it anymore. Like, I think Denver's expensive. I have no idea how you people live in California. No idea. I mean,
well, and I'm starting to say, why in the hell are people living in Colorado? And I've been a resident here all my life. You know, it's just like, how much more of this crap is going to continue to perpetuate? But then you look around, you go, well, where else is it better? It sucks everywhere.
But you know what? I don't know if you're getting these.
Start doing these.
I don't know if you're getting these same stories too, but we actually are seeing people leaving Denver for the first time. We've been just blowing up forever, and people. I'm not talking about 3-4. People are leaving in masses now. Like it's. Right. Let me put it this way. For years, this was, I don't know how, like I've been in this house forever renting with my son. Okay. So my landlord loves me. I'm all good. But there was a time the last few years, you couldn't move here and find a place to live affordable. No way. But now that many people are leaving, where the people renting to you aren't going, dude, you can just leave if you want, because I can have this place rented in 2 minutes. Like, that's not like that anymore. It's already seen enough. Like, no more jacking of prices. And it's not by a law. It's because our mayor, who is the biggest shithead in town, the Supreme Court's weighing in on our mayor. The federal Supreme Court's weighing in on our mayor's dumbass decisions and saying no. What a waste of time. Like, this guy needs, again, here we go. Let's vote this guy out. I don't know why Denver, I don't care if you're right or left. Why the hell is this guy here?
Right.
On my podcast on Monday, I will talk about Mike Johnston, because he's an asshole. I'm sorry, but during the month of, for the rest of May anyway, I'm going to go off, man. Maybe even into June.
The rest of May. All 3 days.
I'm going to go live every day for the rest of May. And just talk shit about these politicians. And then I'll be back in June to talk about gig work. But I'm serious. I mean, it is that bad. I don't think you have to feel that way. Sean, there's a difference between Sean and my towns. Big time.
Yeah, but there's a huge difference.
A huge difference. but there's still good
So-
things in Denver too. But I will tell you that I say that because I see a few things, but I agree with you, Sean, but I see a few things coming back is what I'm saying. For the last few years, everything's been destroyed. Like living here, all the things that I loved are gone. Like, other than the fact that I kind of don't ever have to pay for Red Rocks because I've done work up there and I know people. So I can get into some things that are still very like Red Rocks and I say that because Red Rocks is a big part of me being here. When I came here, I was working production and I was in love with Red Rocks. It's one of the greatest venues on earth. But I mean, it's just there's not enough wins. Like everything is so wrecked and the city's got so destroyed that I think that's why people are leaving.
Yeah.
California rolled through, wrecked our state like they did theirs, set it on fire, and then we're like, I don't want to live here anymore.
Right.
So I don't know where they're going next.
and-
You guys better look out because I think they're caravanning to you.
Yeah, here it's totally different because I mean we're still at a 0.6% growth rate, which is still higher than the national average. And with the 5 military bases and and then growing with Space Force and there's a huge government contractor world down here, and they anticipate because we've got also room to grow that Colorado Springs is going to by 2030 they said, which I think that's a little ambitious, is going to will be the highest populated. I think by 2050 will be the most populous city in Colorado. So yeah, they're totally different markets. We do have some of the same problems, but not in nearly.
But one of the cool things about Colorado Springs, and don't take this the wrong way, guys, but one of the cool things is the fact that it's like all the people who moved to Texas. Like I saw Rick in the chat going, I'm going to Texas. I've seen him saying it before too. He's ready to get his ass out back to Texas. Like all the companies that have moved to Texas. I view Colorado Springs a little bit like that. Like here, we have the same laws about guns, let's say. But down there, dude, people carry, and if you it's FAFO. Here it's like you got to pull out your law book and go, hold on, Robert, let me make sure that we're in a scenario that I can do this. Wait, you have to shoot me once, shoot me in the shoulder once so I can shoot you back.
Right.
I mean, you literally do. Otherwise, especially, and I hate to say this, especially if you're dealing with an illegal. If you screw with an illegal, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
They will get the revolving door and they won't even go to jail. They'll just be put right back on the street, given $1,000 and said, sorry for the inconvenience. Here's a hotel for the night.
Right.
I have a house that you guys pay for. Yeah, here's a hotel for the night anyway.
Right.
We got you and your family. You are going to jail, sir. Why? Well, you pay taxes and you live here, right? And you have for a long time? Yeah. Well, you're going to jail then. That seems correct. Okay. That makes sense. Anyway, guys, we will come back with some. Do we have a short, nice story so I don't have to be like leaving on the anger? Or was this just a tamale law? Which, by the way, I'm going to abuse the shit out of. I already told my son, I said, you know what? Let's just start doing what they did in the pandemic and sell Tortinos for $15 from like midnight to 3 for the drunks.
Well, fold them in half.
Buy them for $1 a piece since we can do it. Like whatever. Are your hands clean? Hell no, dude. Ran out of toilet paper even. Been making pizzas all night.
Oh, God.
Get
some sleep, brother.
I'm sorry, man. I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood because
sorry.
I am literally appalled. It's not just the gig economy tonight. I'm appalled at our country, dude. I don't know.
Well, how do you think? Dude, I mean, yeah.
Here's my Jerry Springer final thought to all our elected officials. Pull your shit together, dude. Think. Use your head and realize that all the briefcases of money you've been taking for years, and you just think, well, this is just how we roll. It ain't anymore. Because now there's serious consequences to you guys screwing around. including and mostly being your ass will be kicked out of Congress. You're not going to be running for nothing no more. You know, Sue, you are responsible for this episode. YouTube, if I get in trouble, you're going to have to talk to the co-captain here and see what you put this shirt on me. I'm going to get into it, man. But do we have a little like nice story? We don't.
Gosh, we don't.
I mean, is there anything good happening?
Tell me something good.
But instead, also let's have a part of
we don't
next.
Good.
Here's another thing I want from the chat next week. Okay, so if you're watching on the replay or whatever, chat next week. Bring in some good stories about what's going well for you in the gig economy this year, and I mean that. Like, let's have some good stories come out in the chat, and we'll address all of them. Just start it with all caps. Good story. And then we'll put it up and we'll read it and we'll talk about it and we'll say, look, that is great. Look at how he's doing in that market with this app. Great. We'll have a little bit of that. And in the real way, not in the fake way that a lot of these YouTube channels do, but we'll do it for real. And we'll also talk about, because I didn't get to this on my podcast on Monday either, and this was how I titled it because I love it. Robot abuse in the city of brotherly love. Because them Philadelphia people be kicking the shit out of Serve Robotics, dude.
What the city of
they're spray painting them. They're not even doing what California did. They're like just wrecking them. They're not taking them off into the woods all nicely and thinking it's funny. They're like ripping them in half, ripping the eyeballs out in front of kids. Like, I mean,
hey, mommy, he's killing the robot. That main man, Steve, he's killing the robot.
But I mean, I don't know I'm happy. I don't know what you expected, man. Don't put your damn when you put a robot down in Philadelphia, that it can be a blue collar, hard town. Okay. I think we can all agree on that. I'm from Michigan, Lansing and Detroit, kind of the same way, right? They're just hard towns. They're great in their own way, but they're just tough towns, man. It's hard to make it. Like, the last thing anybody in those cities wants to see is a damn robot running around, not even working properly, getting in their way, running through glass on bus stations and shit, like just doing everything wrong. And that every robot, not yet, but every robot you're looking at took a job. And there's not enough jobs to go around. We already went from after the pandemic, we were at 165 million working adults in 2021 late. It was like October, November. Okay. We are now at 150 million working adults. How the hell is that the case? How do we lose 15 million working adults? However, there's a shit ton of illegals. And as Sean and I joked about and pointed out, guess what? If you are in the gig economy full-time and you leave, we have no real unemployment records. We have no unemployment data for this country anymore, because with however many million in the gig, 8.5 on DoorDash alone by the account of the CEO, I'm calling 13, 14, but let's just say 8.5. Do you understand that the ebb and flow of that, the people that come on and off, they don't count into unemployment. So we have no real record of what unemployment is. I view it as, okay, well, 165 million is supposed to keep growing. How did it go to 150 million? And by the way, in case you're wondering, of course, that includes independent contractors, self-employed, and business owners. Well, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, the big problem with the unemployment number also is that's always been a problem is full-time versus part-time. And then you have people that are working 3 part-time jobs to equal full-time, and you have the full-time also working a part-time. And so no matter what, the unemployment rate is kind of a bullshit figure anymore anyway, just because of that.
Right, but for a while they at least had to do the what was it called? The ghost hirings or the ghost listings.
Right.
Like, you know, oh, we have 3 openings here at Merrill Lynch, and really they have none. But
Right.
or we have 100. We have 100 openings. Come apply. And all these people applied. Not one of them was getting hired, and they knew it. This has been happening
Right.
for years, guys. Like this is what the
Yeah.
administrations do. They pull their people and their companies in to help these report numbers. Like, dude,
Yeah.
did you hire anybody this quarter? No. Can you say that
No.
you were bringing on 100,000 new people? Yeah, we can do that. We can lie for you. But really, like they're saying that because they use that comparison, like, well, the unemployment rate's up, but look at the job openings are up too. So, like, what the hell? Those job openings are never up. That's always a lie.
Right.
Straight up. That's them. That's scumbaggery working at its best. That is political scumbaggery. And damn it, I got to never wear this shirt again. I might get banned from stuff. I will wear it, Sue. Don't worry. I'll wear it in public. I'll wear it to the grocery store when I go there.
I mean,
you know, and I'll even push people out of my way. Yeah, you're annoying
me.
Get the fuck out of my way, scumbag.
Give me a chance to, you know, get enough growth where I can monetize before I get demonetized, get banned before I get demonetized.
You can't be demonetized if you've never been monetized.
I can't even be monetized because I'll get banned before I even get there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, you know what? I think YouTube,
you know I don't care anyway.
For all the people that and it's true, think that YouTube is really cracking down on a lot of people. Oddly, and this is I have seen this. I know this to be right. Oddly, I feel like YouTube isn't cracking down on the you and I's anymore. Doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
They're concerned about the AI use. They're concerned about using the same content 1,000 times over and just chopping it up a little different. But they're more concerned, and I think that is what they should be focused on, because that is what's wasting feeds and stuff. People are like, I saw that from the same guy a week ago, dude. Like, I don't want to see that. What you really need are more people like us, like a thing that says Thursday Night Live, and we ain't fucking around. That's the title you need. You know?
Wow.
So, wow, is that what you said? I thought you were just giving up like, wow.
Put a dot on 8 Mile. This Toyo. Steve's
anyway, guys,
on us
we are way into overtime. I know we missed last week, but I think this is just me venting after kind of being out in the real world for a few days and going, wait, what the hell? What's up with all this shit? Anyway, guys,
Steve's like the Amish kid that, you know, they send him out to the real world and they go just shit ass crazy. That's what we're experiencing tonight. We'll get the other Steve back to the culture.
We'll try
next week. No,
the other Steve is morphing. He's getting angry.
He's gone out to the world of sinners, and he's never going to return.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just so you guys know, like when this ends, I run outside with my taser and I just get 3 random people, and then I come back home. I'm like, much better.
Well,
I just run down to Colfax and have some fun. You know, like,
that's still better. That's still better than going into a closet and tasing yourself 3 times. So,
you guys, we're just keeping it real though. And next week we will do it in the professional way that we always do, with some comical thing. I know I was heated tonight. I told Sean going into this, I was like, this shit makes me mad, especially the union stuff. I've been so bothered by it for years. But it was just, it was this distant threat for a lot of years that I knew about, and I was talking about people. And I was like, that could never happen because they're not employees. Well, enough states are finding these workarounds. In all reality, I am very worried about this. Out of all the things that we are accomplishing with the lawmakers, I'm very worried about these union things because they're not even your typical union. It's just a money grab and a scam. It's a scam on top
Right.
of a scam. I mean, a lot of you have said these apps are Ponzi scams. I don't know if I'd go that far, but yes, I do believe they're absolutely abusing some things. But on top of that, the last thing you need is a union rep. And because I actually do know some people who are like, dude, but those unions are going to help us. And, you know, and literally when I get into it, they're like, but dude, I'd rather have that. You know, I'm like, do you know you have to pay for that? And they're like, no, I mean, they're, you know, the company. And I'm like, clearly you've never been outside, because guess what? The company never pays union dues. They might have to pay something into it, but these gig apps are going to find a way to make money on it. Watch. They're not only going to not pay into it, they're going to even take more from you or something and say it's for union dues, but it's not. So with that said, before I get Sean and I shut down forever on YouTube, thank you for letting us be honest.
Thanks for our
And you know
moment.
what, YouTube, just continue to let us be honest, man. Push us up in the feed. People don't want to see the AI bullshit, and they don't want to see the fake scumbaggery bullcrap channels on YouTube anymore.
And you know what? If we got shut down here, big deal. We'll go somewhere else.
Well, we're not. I mean, we're not gonna. Like, we didn't. Here's the thing. The other thing that they're cracking down on is not being truthful. Okay, but fact check us.
Right.
That's the thing. Fact check us. I'm putting
100%.
everything in Discord we talked about tonight, so you guys can even go fact check us. You know, let's fact check us. I don't give a shit. Yeah. You know, but if you come at me with some shit, realize that. And if you're like, well, he's just a creator, okay, but I worked with David Pickerel for many years. David is one of my dear friends. David's roommate in college when he went to Harvard is now the not the COO, but this something huge at YouTube. So guess what? I might be able to go over your fucking head.
Right.
So be careful who you mess with, because also we've made a lot of political friends and not so many enemies anymore. We're not making enemies anymore. Some people might turn cheek, but we're making a lot of friends. So, and again, there's no reason to, you know, let us speak. We're talking the truth and people need to hear it. So you guys share this, like this, please do all that stuff. It does help push us up in the algorithm. And especially because I know already that it's like some of these other channels. We want to be up in the algorithm and let more people see. And there's a point which if you like and share and do all that stuff and keep commenting like you guys do, they can't fight it. They have to let it go because that's what they want.
Right.
They want engagement. And I can tell you this, when we end a live, you people are awesome, because our average watch time is not like some people's 1 minute because they paid for crap or whatever. We have huge long watch times of you guys on the lives. So that's what YouTube wants. YouTube, we're giving it to you on a dish. We're just being honest. But before I get us in any more trouble, or before I hit that 2-hour mark, I don't even know how we got so far. I'm going to end this and let Sean yell at me backstage. So again, that is the theme. And you guys have a great evening. Check out Sean's channel, guys. I know that he crossed over 100, and I didn't get to congratulate him because we didn't have a show last week. I mean, I did off camera, but dude, it's a big deal. Sean's only been around for a minute, dude, and he's already got over 100 subs. I know a lot of channels that started that are good channels that took longer than he did to get to that 100 subs. But if you haven't subbed him yet, please sub Sean. It's at CO Ride Guy. And you guys won't be sorry. I'm live on Mondays. He's live on Tuesdays, and we're here every Thursday ripping it all down.
Thursday.
So, yeah. And until the November elections, expect nothing but a ton of real. Like it or not, it's just going to be facts. So have a great night, everybody. Be good to each other. Be safe, and we will see you next time.
Good night, y'all.
And now it's doing its thing again. This is StreamYard, you guys. In case you ever want to get StreamYard, make sure you use the code Sean and Steve said you suck, and they will charge you an extra 30%. Good night.